All right, let's move on, folks. Got a nice crowd in here. 2,000 in the YouTube chat, 1,400 strong on Rumble. Let's hit that like button and get a crowd in here. Let's tweet this out. Let's share this out. All right, folks. So you may have heard this. Barack Obama makes stern appeal to black male voters in Pennsylvania. So this was a few days ago. There's some reporting on this. And then we got a video from our friend Nick Cruz at RBN, which he did for Hotspot. Former President Obama delivered a stern appeal to black voters while campaigning for Vice President Harris in Pennsylvania on Thursday amid signs her support amongst the demographic may be softening. We've not yet seen the same kind of energy and turnout in all corners of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running, Obama said, referencing reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers, he said. We're going to see video of this in a minute. Just want to set this up for those of you who haven't heard. Obama said the choice between Harris and her opponent, former President Trump, isn't a close call and described Harris as, quote, somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. You're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses, he said. I've got a problem with that. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president, and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that, he continued. The former president went on to say, women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. When we get in trouble and the system isn't working for us, they're the ones out there marching and protesting. You mean like when your good friend Joe Biden locked all of their husbands in jail for no reason? Is that what you mean by that?
Or
when the system isn't working for us?
Or when Kamala decided the best way to get ahead was to lock people up en masse for marijuana use, which she then giggled about having used later in a podcast.
Yeah. I think we should defer to our friend Nick Cruz for the first word on this, and then we'll talk more. But he made a great hotspot about this, which sums up a lot of this very well. So obviously, you all know, follow RBN on YouTube, but also if you're on Twitter, follow Hotspot too, because they do great stuff. Not just Nico, but I mean not just Nick, but Nico House as well. All right, here we go.
Barack Obama accuses black men of being secretly sexist because Kamala Harris is not doing as well as expected in the demographic.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly.
The Democratic Party really think they own our vote. Notice how Donald Trump won the white woman vote 2 times. Meanwhile, Democrats never talk to them like this. Maybe.
Hold on. That is an excellent point. That's an excellent point. Trump won with white women in 2016, 53%. Do they ever deploy surrogates to go and browbeat white women? No, because white women, the kind of white women who voted for Trump are not people who they want to get on the bad side of. Black men, they'll browbeat black men.
Well, it's not just that. It's the way that Obama spoke to them is really, really disgusting. It is just, it's coming right out of the Bill Cosby pull your pants up school of just speaking to them like they're lower class, like they're uneducated, like they're unintelligent. That's really the subtext of what he's saying. Like, you people are not aware, you're not cultured, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to invoke a kind of urban language that I do not use except when I'm putting on a performance, as if I'm one of you, when really my class privileges remove me quite far from where you actually live. But I'm going to use my racial identity to pass myself off as one of you. And I'm going to talk down to you while I do it. I'm gonna talk to you just like Joe Biden.
I'm your dad.
I talk to you.
Yeah.
Just like Joe Biden in one of his moments, I talk to you. Well, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. but I see I'm black, I can get away with it, right? So
Right.
I'm gonna go worse than Biden would because I can, right? Because now you can't tell me I'm a white man, but you might as well be talking like that. And then that's an excellent point. Can you imagine? That's a brilliant point from Nick. That really illustrates how much of a cultural niche these Democrats who supposedly are for that community place black men in. They wouldn't speak to white women like that because they don't look at white women like that.
Exactly.
They don't think of white women that way.
Right. Exactly. They think of white women as votes that have to be won. They think of the black male vote as a vote that they are entitled to. Right. We'll let Nick go on.
Just maybe, black men are not into Kamala Harris because she's running for president like she's Dick Cheney. The fact that Kamala Harris made her career locking up black men, and now she's running as an unhinged neocon Republican, that is all the reasons why black men shouldn't support her. Black Americans are the furthest left racial group in the United States, with many of them supporting reforms in criminal justice and having a positive view of socialism while having a negative view of capitalism. So have Democrats ever considered the far-right shift that makes even Dick Cheney and Ronald Reagan Republicans comfortable with the party may be one of the reasons why black men are fleeing the party? Nope. All that liberals can do is condescend to us and accuse us of being sexist for not supporting their favorite genocidal girl boss.
I'm a man enough to deadlift 500, then braid it out of my daughter's hair. Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
I love women. I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge. And I'm man enough to help them win.
And who the fuck is Barack Obama to lecture black men on anything? The way Barack Obama handled the 2008 financial crisis tanked black wealth as he allowed Wall Street to commit financial fraud on black Americans. Black men need to follow the direction of Arab Americans and unapologetically abandon the Democratic Party.
Right on. And that last point will always be, I think, the most important point whenever Obama comes out of his Martha's Vineyard mansion to run his fucking mouth about how everyone else has failed him, which is that he knows Barack Obama is a very, very, very smart man. Barack Obama knows he was elected with a mandate for change. He literally ran on it. And he knows he did not deliver it. And if not for the crock of shit presidency he turned in, Donald Trump would be a non-starter. He wouldn't have even bothered running. He wouldn't have seen an opening. So Barack Obama knows that he, more than any other person on earth, is responsible for Trumpism gaining a foothold. No doubt he understands that. But Barack Obama is an absolute die-in-the-wool narcissist. Just as narcissistic as Trump. And what do narcissists do when they fuck up and they know they fucked up? They blame everyone around them, especially those closest to them. That's why he had a lot of smoke for young voters in 2016 and in 2020. That's why, if you notice, he didn't invite David Axelrod to his big Martha's Vineyard birthday bash. He did not, and now he's coming out. Now he's got smoke for black men. Notice, folks, half of what Barack Obama says post-presidency is an expression of disappointment in everyone else. He always comes out and talks about how, don't boo, vote. Half of what this guy says is an expression of disappointment in those around him. Everyone else let me down. That's a narcissist. That is a narcissist. That is a man who cannot take responsibility for what he knows is his fault. And all of this post 2015, if it's any one person's fault, it's his. He knows he was elected with a mandate for change, as Nick referenced there, post 2008 financial crisis. He knows he let Citigroup dictate who was in his cabinet. He knows all this. He's not a stupid man. He's a lot of things. Stupid he is not. and he cannot take responsibility for it. Instead, like a classic narcissist, he lashes out at everyone around him. He's been doing this since he left office, and it's really so despicable. It is so despicable. So he wants to express his disappointment in the young people and in black men. The feeling is mutual. Feeling is mutual. Barack Obama is a massive disappointment, a massive failure.
Not only what he did in office, what he's done since he got out of office.
Yes.
Barack Obama had more to do with sabotaging the left progressive movement, the nascent movement that arose with the Sanders campaign, than anybody else. He's the one, he wouldn't even, you remember, what's his name, who Butch Ware just did the whole, he did a video about the Muslim AG who was going to become DNC chair.
Keith Ellison. Yeah.
Keith Ellison, Barack Obama personally intervened in that nomination process.
Correct.
And if you remember, a lot of us who had been involved in the Sanders campaign were prepared to work within the Democratic Party, and we were backing Keith Ellison. Everything we tried to do, Barack Obama, along with others, but he was really orchestrating behind the scenes to make sure that nobody from that wing of the party could ascend to any meaningful position of power in the party. Because, to your point, he was too narcissistic to allow that wing of the party to gain power, because he saw it as a rebuke to his politics, to his politics of, well, we can't really get anything done. What if Bernie got in there and got done everything he said that he couldn't get done, or even some of it?
Right.
It would have put the lie to that politics. And of course, the Monday Night Massacre in 2020, where he got everybody to drop out to install Biden. That, as much, if not more than his presidency, has gotten us where we are, because that progressive movement was prepared to work within the Democratic Party, and we've all left now.
Well, and if you recall, like within a couple weeks of Biden securing the nomination, Barack Obama comes out with a video expressing once again his disappointment that young people aren't more excited about Joe Biden, when literally you had over 1 million people, most of them young people, volunteer a year of their lives for the Bernie Sanders campaign. They were on the doorstep of victory. He intervenes at the last minute to crush Bernie Sanders' candidacy and render that year of these young people's lives a waste of time. And then within weeks comes out with a video chiding them for not being more passionate about Joe Biden. Again, a fucking narcissistic piece of shit. Just a man with absolutely zero capacity.
When you have as much to do with making young people feel that voting doesn't matter as anyone.
Exactly. 100%. And while we're on the topic of black men who aren't sufficiently enthused about Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, I could think of one black man who's not all that jazzed about Kamala. His name happens to be Barack Obama. Remember this report? This is from July of this year, July 24th, 2024, which was just after Biden dropped out and the Democrats coalesced around Kamala Harris. This report, an exclusive from the New York Post, Obama doesn't believe Kamala Harris can beat Trump, which is why he hasn't endorsed her. Once again, this was published in late July. Remember, everyone, Barack Obama was notably late to endorse Kamala. Notably late. And this reporting says former President Barack Obama hasn't endorsed Kamala Harris's presidential bid because he doesn't think she can beat Donald Trump, according to a source close to the Biden family. Following President Biden's shocking exit from the race on Sunday and his immediate endorsement of the vice president, most of the Democratic elite have been quick to rally behind Harris, but Obama is a notable exception. Quote, Obama's very upset because he knows she can't win, the Biden family source told the Post. According to the source, Obama's hope was to get Biden out of the way, and an op-ed written by George Clooney in the New York Times asking him to step aside was part of that plan. However, the higher-ups in the Democratic Party didn't count on Biden endorsing Harris right away, and Obama was shocked when the president endorsed her, according to the Insider. After Biden's ouster, Obama, who did not return a request for comment Wednesday, wanted Arizona Senator and former astronaut Mark Kelly at the top of the ticket when the DNC is held next month, the source said. Obama is, quote, furious that things haven't gone his way, quote again, which is why he is not joining in the Democratic Party support of Harris, the Biden source added. Now, of course, he later did get on the bandwagon because he had no choice, but that reporting seems accurate to me given the timeline and given Obama's lateness to endorse Kamala Harris.
What happens when people find out about all those Diddy parties she went to with Willie Brown?
Yeah, right, exactly. So
she was the freak off queen.
Yeah. So Obama didn't want Kamala as the candidate because he thought she couldn't win, and he expected, as the kingmaker of the party, to be able to direct the party's top brass to nominate someone else. He wanted his way. He didn't get his way. Instead, the party is now saddled with someone who, according to this reporting, Barack Obama thought as late as the 4th week of July could not win. So again, that is a failure of Barack Obama and party leadership to get their shit in order behind a candidate that Obama himself felt had a better chance of winning. Mark Kelly from Arizona is who they say he wanted. So again, you have an institutional failure of the party to act in accordance with Barack Obama's wishes. Who does he blame? Black men. Black men. Once again, who does a narcissist blame? They blame their friends. That's why narcissists don't keep friends very often, because when shit goes sideways, they will always express contempt for those closest to them. And that, again, Axelrod, not on the invite list to his 60th birthday party. You don't think that was deliberate? Barack Obama wouldn't be where he was without David Axelrod, without that campaign. So
all this I did for thee.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's one black man. Apparently not as enthusiastic as he should be about Kamala. And if you look at his speech,
who is not doing the right thing.
That's right. And if you look at his speech, I mean, he looks tired. He looks defeated. Even in the Hillary campaign, and we know he didn't exactly love Hillary because of the campaign she ran against him. But he went out there and sold it like a pro. She's the most qualified person ever to run for president. Here, he just looks exhausted. He looks spent. He looks wiped. And here you have him standing in the field office talking about how the brothers aren't enthusiastic enough. I mean, how pathetic.
I cannot imagine a more condescending speech he could have given to black men than that. It's infuriating just to watch it.
Please clap.